Hello, and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, December, what day? 18th, 2015, by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi, and her energy mantra for today is, what I choose to follow as truth is my responsibility. And December 18th, we are moving through. We are almost finished up with Sagittarius. We're in the final days of Sun in Sagittarius. And so we're still going to be working with the Sagittarius energy even after the Sun moves on. We have Saturn going through it for another 2 years. Not to mention other planets are going to be joining in soon, like Venus. But we're really looking into those lessons, those infinite possibility lessons that remind us that, as an explorer, we all have the explorer Sagittarius archetype in us. It's all in our chart somewhere. Even if it doesn't have planets in it, we all have Sagittarius energy in us. We all have that curious explorer, I want to know, philosopher energy within us. But to keep the spirit of infinite possibilities, it means that you keep open to learning. You keep open to learning. You keep open to the fact that truth is an expansive thing. That you don't just get it all in just this one thing. It's always expanding. Our beliefs are always expanding. And it's your responsibility to follow the breadcrumbs that Spirit gives you, to be open to what Spirit brings to you. And today we have some interesting stuff happening. I think the most interesting aspect today that I want to look at is Venus inconjunct Uranus. So Venus is in Scorpio, taking us into a deeper relationship with ourselves. Venus in Scorpio really does want intimacy with others, but it starts always with your relationship with yourself. Intimacy with yourself. Are you real with yourself? Are you able to look at those parts of yourself that would be hard to share with anybody else? Because for true intimacy, we have to be willing to share even those scariest parts. And so we start by doing that with ourselves. And having a connection today to Uranus, it's an inconjunct, so it's an interesting connection. But having that connection at 16 degrees is giving us an opportunity to break through, to know what we are and know what we aren't. So a lot of times we look at the past stuff and like, I did that, so I am that. I am ashamed because I did that. And this connection happening at 16 degrees, which is a 7, that degree of spirit, is helping us break through and realize you are not your past, you're not your mistakes, you're not those shadow aspects that you are so ashamed of, that you're holding on to and hiding. You're not that. You're so much more. Those are pieces of your journey. Those are pieces of your path. You are not perfect, and yet you are so perfect in that imperfection. And it's an interesting world. There's always going to be people who are going to tell you that your best isn't good enough, that you're trying hard is not good enough, that you're not living up to their expectations. And our breakthrough today is recognizing that you're not here to look up to other people, or you're not here to live up to other people's expectations of you. They may set a precedent for you that could be helpful in your life, but if it is pulling you down in any way, it's time to look at your own expectations for yourself, your own goals for yourself, your own desires for yourself, your own soul vision for yourself, and move in the direction of that which is true to you. Have that breakthrough for yourself. So besides that, we have the moon beginning the day connecting to Jupiter in Virgo. And so that's kind of kicking off the day, bringing this attention again to ourselves, into our physical antenna being. It's still at 22 degrees, Jupiter is. So we're still really mastering our relationship with our body. Tune in, listen to it. I also want to say that the moon is going to be void a little bit this morning, so you may find yourself desiring to be quiet, to be kind of on the down low until the moon shifts into Aries a little bit later in the afternoon. If you need that quiet space, find a way to give it to yourself. Give yourself, even if it's 5 minutes of just tuning within, choose that as your responsibility. It helps so much, and it helps when you don't beat yourself up. When you just let have like those 5 minutes, it's so much better if you're like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing this. That's not the quiet that your body's asking for. We also have the sun and the moon squaring each other at 26 degrees. That responsibility, 8-degree Saturn thing that's happening. So the moon in Pisces, sun in Sagittarius, this square, you may be faced with something that you don't want to look at because it is not something that you've been open to. If you find yourself resisting something, that's fine. You know, sometimes you just have to back away from the resistance, just say like, I'm just not going to look at any of this right now and let it kind of open to me. I don't have to open the door. Let that door open to me and kind of just let it wash through you instead of forcing your way through the door or forcing the door closed. This isn't about pushing yourself too far. It's kind of about letting the universe expand that to you. And then the moon's going to shift into Aries, 1:26 p.m. in the afternoon Pacific time. And so that moon in Aries is going to help us, finish up pretty much. It's not going to take us all the way through the end of Sagittarius, but it's helping us in those final degrees of Sagittarius. Just, doing that work, getting that work done, getting stuff done, getting stuff started, finishing that inspiration, that Sagittarius inspiration. So, the cards. I have to say something very interesting. I got cut off on GPS, my internet, when I was going to talk about the moon in Aries. And so funny, 2 of the cards that I pulled for that GPS came up today with the moon shifting into Aries. So I'm like, okay, I meant to talk about this. These 2 cards that I pulled is ordinariness and guilt. 2 other cards came up too, and I'll talk about them in a second. But I wanted to talk about these separately because this came up. And what came through for me really strongly, and obviously is meant to come through again because these cards popped up again. I would not call myself a pacifist. I would call myself, I don't know what I would call myself. I don't think I have a label for myself. I call myself like a soul follower. I honor what's true for my soul in any given moment. I do my best to do that. I don't always succeed, but I do my best. I think this ordinariness card is about enjoying the gift of the moment, the gift of the now, the specialness that is in this moment, enjoying the peace that is within you, around you, especially if you are privileged enough to live somewhere that's peaceful in this moment. And yet, there is guilt around this. I think we have guilt that we're not all picking up our swords. The warrior archetype in us. The Aries moon brings out that warrior archetype. That we're not picking up our swords and going to battle. I feel like there's a lot of us that our souls are feeling guilt. Our souls are grieving. Our souls are struggling with what's going on right now. And I have to remind you, you don't have to feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty about having the gift of this moment, that you are in peace right now. Instead, live it up. Feel the joy around it. That energy makes a difference. You will be shown how to act. You will know. You have to be true to your soul. The world doesn't need everybody to pick up their swords and go to battle. Some people, don't go to battle, but hold down a lovely vibration for the planet. And that's needed. That's like what the monks are doing. There's a reason, we all have our place. So if you're a place and you're getting, I had somebody the other week, get on me and I was like, hey, I'm doing what I came to do. And I feel good about that. But if you have somebody, don't fall into that place of guilt. Honor your place. Hold strong in your place. And know, if there's time to do something else in accordance, when you are honoring yourself, you do it. You don't run from it. You do it. You honor it. And then the other cards, clinging to the past, clinging to that old stuff. I think some of this old stuff is again, those voices, are you doing enough? Are you really showing up? You gotta let go of those voices. Those voices don't lead to what you want in your life. What does is when you honor yourself. Eye of the tiger, moving into success. Success is when you are in alignment with your soul. I guess that's at least my definition of success. When I am in alignment with my soul on my personal soul mission, I am showing up for myself and for the world. So, long one today. That's it. Book a reading, holiday reading. Buy a gift certificate. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.